so you guys know what I generally do a part of that called therapy, African centered healing, plant medicine healing. Oh, it is. Like, can't beat my back. We are, so I don't even know how to describe this piece. It is an Afro-Latin fusion, so there is Japanese aesthetic, but it's part of my brand and a part of how I create. I do create with the Japanese base, and it is African African American in this particular piece. It also has straight up Japanese pieces in all of his work, where we have Phoenix, we have dragons, um, we have koi, we got fushi, we got koi. Like, we got some things. Eventually, like, maybe at some point, I don't know if we'll wait another 2 years. Done. We've been working on this for about 10 years now, but but I think at some point I will document the the symbolism that he does have and explain to you guys what the I am taking an ethno historian type of journey to document some of the symbols of African culture and how you do and branding to manifest your best life. Because that's what I do. But I'm also very excited to share more about how, you know, certain common pictorial sigils like dragons, like sushi, uh, like phoenix, like what these mean, when they're pointed down versus going up, all of those. Um, I want to be able to share that with you so that way it makes you more fun when you decide to get your next tattoo. You know, like a place you can about how you can and how you can use it as a way to actually manifest your best fucking life. I only say this because as a tattoo artist, I have not always been happy. I have also been a tattoo client where my medicine that they cut it um, and I've learned a great deal in that time and that journey. So I want to be able to share that. Anyway, I'm getting to work. I hope y'all enjoy this. Okay. Just so you know, all three of us have suspects. So after this done, I would probably go ahead and make sure it's not. I'll turn it when you start talking. Unless we got questions. No, for me, I kind of was.
No, it's probably was good when you had it.
Because it's picking up the sound from the speaker. Because it's on the yeah.
It seemed like you got the middle. And you left the middle.
It's lots of heavy black.
Yeah. It's gonna be you are putting color.
Yeah, we're putting color in it. And yeah. That's why I told her, like, we gotta go all the way back to most of this nigga's body.
Yeah. There's colors to it. There's colors.
In thine hand.
We can do like a full day. You got covered something.
Yeah. Would you mind handing me the power cord next time? Thank you.
I don't know. Are you vegan?
Wow.
Because I'm looking at this tofu. I got to think about it. I like tofu. Just freeze it. There's a good way to make it feel more like and that's to freeze it, thaw it, bring it, freeze it again, thaw it. Then the texture is very different. I'm watching these people like take regular tofu and just like and all that. Like that don't seem a little.
You're not doing that.
It seemed a little less. I mean, it got the crunchy top, but that joint still that joint silken tofu in the middle. Like, that's not how a steak tastes. You know what I mean? Like you kind of want some consistency. I'm real funny about the when people be like it's fake meat. I'm like, man, it's not even meat, dog. It ain't even close.
Right.
It ain't even close, bro.
I do. I wonder how I would work with something like that if it were a more meatier consistency. Because I can't do almost any tofu. Well, not
Right,
almost.
I
I can't do any tofu. Like the texture, my body be like, "You got me fucked up."
Right.
I'd be like, "No, let's try it." My body's like, "I said no."
Right. I seen these giant rabbits. I've never seen giant rabbits before. These rabbits are huge. No, these are little.
Oh, I was
No,
about to be like, those are giant.
Nah, there's another thing I had. This other these rabbits was crazy big.
My mom got me going to some plant thing next week.
Chopper line. I hate this new trends on socials. If you got one thing more and then you do flip, then you got flip. Stay away from that script, dog. You're killing me.
But I was telling my godmother was like, in terms of like my branding popping off, she was like, you need to get on there and do more videos and act silly. And I was like, yeah, no, that sounds horrible for my life.
Listen, I gotta do so. I'm gonna erase my whole everything. Everything's getting ready to go. Yeah, everything's ready to go. Bye bye.
Rebrand.
Yeah, start over from scratch with nothing.
To just archive it. Right?
Yeah, I'm archiving everything. Yeah.
I was about to say, don't shock your IG because that shit will be like starting over for real.
No. I'm gonna archive everything and then start going.
I think I want to do that I want to keep. I like people being able to see the journey on my Instagram. So like because I've always used mine as a diary.
Right.
So I like that, but I do want to, I think, rebrand heavy in terms of by the time you come to my page, those top 9 look so uniform. So you know exactly what you're getting when you come here, at least aesthetic wise.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I need to make everything music and stay away from anything else. Just be music. I was like, yo, she's taking some olive oil to the head. That bottle looked like an olive oil bottle. I was like, yo, should she just
I am not my cat.
crashing out on the olive oil?
That's Squeak. That's her life. I actually have a video of her crashing out on olive oil where I was just like, Slim, like what is this and why?
All right, I'm gonna listen to this later.
Yeah.
Nah, it'll be later.
And
it'll be later. I'm trying to see this.
Oh. With
the lightest family around. Okay.
What? Exactly the way I love him.
He's great.
Such a tech. Oh, he is the best technophile. Is that Leica?
I don't know who made that. It's a Sigma.
Oh shit!
It's super crisp and flicky, but also this is not a very practical camera. First of all, there's no viewfinder anywhere, so you have to use the screen. There's also no card slot anywhere, so you have to rely on the internal 230 gig storage.
That's why
these buttons are not the buttons; they're just touch-sensitive areas.
Oh no, it's a toy camera that.
This MagSafe lens cap is kind of cool. It's like Sigma went to the drawing board and said, how do we make a camera exactly the way Apple made it? And that's this. This is the new Sigma BF.
I don't think Apple would make a camera.
No.
It would have way more functionality to it.
So I was like, all right, go ahead, yeah. She was okay.
I'm also really excited. You got podcasts, right?
I was working on a podcast. I need to actually go do it.
So if you want something that's low maintenance, Substack integrates with what you call it.
With who?
With all podcast streaming.
Get out of here.
So you can actually this is going to end up on my podcast.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I tried. So we streamed her test last week. Mm-hmm. We streamed that, and then something was like, just go look to see if if it updates on your podcast. Mm-hmm. So since I have mine integrated for all podcast streaming, I went to Spotify, and it was up there, and it was also on YouTube.
Oh wow! How'd you do on the test?
I tried.
Yeah. How many more hours do you have to do before you consider full-time flip fly?
I don't think it's like a hour check mark, more like a checkpoint.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. She will have to complete. There isn't necessarily hours for DC and Maryland. Mm-hmm. So I go by Virginia. And I go by California more than anything because California is the harshest of all the laws. Mm-hmm. So 500 hours is what she'd be clocking in altogether for her apprenticeship. But she's end of May. If she's well to go, then she'll be taking her first round of friendly customers.
How you feeling about that?
That's exciting.
Is this something? What did you go to school for?
Biology.
No.
Gotta love it, right?
I was a scientist for a couple of years.
Oh, for real? Where?
I used to work for the University of California.
Okay.
Sometime.
Where were you?
Davis.
In Davis?
Sacramento.
Okay, UC Davis. Yeah, I thought UC Davis was.
Yeah, that's what was.
Oh, okay. You was in a lab out there?
Yeah, I was working for my professor that I met at a conference.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
And I got my master's through her.
Oh, shit. From UC Davis?
Yeah.
That's dope. And then what made you say, yeah, I'm like...
Well, besides not issues with my bosses and not really enjoying what I was doing. I realized like the main reason why I even went down a STEM career was just for the money. And I realized I didn't want to work just for money.
That's amazing. That's the same thing that happened to me.
It's nice for a little bit.
I went to the University of Maryland for electrical engineering.
You did?
Sure did.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't graduate. I decided I want to be a musician after my sophomore year and seeing somebody have a nervous breakdown in front of the math building.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, yeah, this don't look like what I want to do. And then I realized I'm sorry, I wanted you to finish. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. I had asked a lot of people in my program how they felt about it, and they were all like, I'm depressed, I'm miserable, I want to kill myself. And I was like, that doesn't seem healthy. And I tried to talk to my professor about it, and she was just like, that's what it takes to be a professional.
Damn.
I was like, well, I guess I cared about my mental health a bit more.
Yeah.
And in that time period, I was just doing art to feel better. And then I was like, well, if this makes me feel better, maybe I should just do it.
Right. That's great. How'd your parents feel about that?
Well, I was raised by my single mother, so I mean, obviously coming from like a single mom, black, low income background, you know, she pushed very hard for me to pursue an academic route, and that is why I did that. So I feel like she didn't really have as many problems when I decided to leave because one, I was grown by then to make my own decisions, and two, I tried it the way she wanted me to do it, and I didn't like it. Right. She can't say
you didn't do it.
At least try.
Right, and you got a master's out of it. Like,
yeah, she was like, at least you have something to fall back on, and I was like, well, I don't plan on falling back on it.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I guess I could always go back to it.
Yeah. My sister was a microbiologist at NIH for she retired.
That's interesting. I used to do microbiology at the FDA for an internship. I started out in microbiology before I moved to environmental science.
Okay.
That was the other part. It was very depressing being environmental science.
Wow. Watching it all go away.
Yeah, that was another conversation I had with my boss. I said, hey, what happens after we publish these papers? And she's like, they can use it to write new bills. And I was like, okay, well, they're not doing that. She was like, yeah. So I was like, you want us to just do like endless research without anything actually changing? I'm just constantly proving things are getting worse. And that was pretty much the gist of it.
Yep.
I was like, well, I don't think we need more proof. I think we should do something. But nobody wants to do anything.
No, it's all conversations. I learned that I had a client, Daniel, and we're working on BTA because he was helping me with the strategy, the initial strategy for it. And he was like, okay, so we should have a meeting about the meeting. And I was like, sir, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that corporate bullshit, right. We're going to make a plan and we're going to exercise said plan. Right. And he was like, you right. That really is corporate. Yeah. Now, why are we talking about the meeting that we could just have a meeting? Yeah. It's two. I
mean, the university funding the hustle is that's the thing. They're like, yeah, we'll give you the grant to go look for it, so we can tell them, nah, we got because the shareholder in the end is going to be it's going to be in the name of business. In the end, are we going to really ask Coca-Cola stop dumping?
No.
Or are we going to ask for it,
I mean, yeah, I was on 2 different $1 million grants, and I was like, that's great, as in, like, they have the ability to afford all of the tools to do the research and pay the scientists to do the research, but you could have actually just gave that $1 million to actually doing something.
Right. Because you already know it's raggedy.
That's too much like right, though. I mean, I guess the NS, because I was working for the NSF, they're like, we're funding the research.
There's no money in fixing the problem.
Nope.
I mean, there is, but you know,
Yeah.
it's not going to be beneficial to the shareholder.
Yeah.
Because it's going to dig into their margins.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's no money. Like, yeah, you say it clear. Fucking cat is going at it.
With cat.
And you can't hear the clicking. It's a cat in the window here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not a live cat.
Oh,
it's a,
I hear it every time I come, and every time I think, is there a clock in here? And then I remember it's the cat.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because even though it technically doesn't shut off until the light, like until the sunlight goes away, I still forget that it's in here.
oh.
Like it's just such a common sound for me. I woke up this morning, my cat was sitting on my head, like perched there.
I hear it now.
Mm-hmm. I have to check for the date, Sierra, but and the time. But my favorite anthropologist will be here. Tattoo anthropologist Lars. He's coming out with a new book on Asian tattoo and Asian tattoo culture. And we'll be doing. He's doing a tour, a book tour.
What is he supposed to be?
I think he's here twice. I think this month he's here at one of the Smithsonian. No, he's at Politics and Prose.
Oh, okay, nice. Which one?
Um,
Union Market or Bethesda?
I don't know. I gotta look at the flyer again. I saw that shit and I was like, going. I ain't never fucking heard of. It's like, oh shit. But he's also here again in June, and he's at one of the Smithsonian.
Oh, nice.
So I failed us for the Baltimore Tattoo Convention because it's this weekend. It's usually in April, so that's what I was preparing my head for, and it did not click that it's this weekend. So when another tattoo convention comes around, or if we can travel down to the Richmond one.
When is the Richmond one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta check the only reason I'm going is for her education because I don't be going to tattoo convention.
I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what do you get out of a tattoo convention?
Not a damn thing. I don't like them because I don't market to tattoo artists.
Gotcha.
And most people who go to a tattoo convention aren't looking for, the absorbent work that's more spiritual. You know what I mean? Like it's just not even my target audience at that point. I can go and I can meet up with other tattoo artists, and then also they have awesome workshops. So like Comic Con will have workshops for artists who are looking to better their skills type of deal. So sometimes they'll have workshops. They're pretty watered down now because the industry is accessible by damn near anybody. So it doesn't feel like it's tattoo artists coming for a workshop to level up their skills more than it's somebody who's curious about tattoo and now they can get a free workshop by going to this event.
So how did you get What? So okay, you decided you're gonna do art,
Mm-hmm.
and then why specifically tattoo? And then how did you end up connecting with Imani?
I always already liked tattoos. I have a few, and every time I've gone to get tattooed, I feel like I always ask them a million questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then this machine I actually got from my partner, but she's a really talented artist. And I was like, oh yeah, you should learn how to tattoo. And then she never used it.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, maybe I should use it. Maybe I should try it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was, as Imani and I have said before, following a bunch of breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I have ended up at tattooing.
How'd you wind up finding Imani to get an apprenticeship?
Uh,
Because I don't be giving them shits out.
I was just looking online for Black tattoo artists in the DMV area.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I was going through lots of lists and was going through their Instagrams and their websites and Imani's websites, and the things she was saying seemed to align the most with me, especially because she included spirituality in her tattoo practice.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I was interested in combining because I am myself already very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already interested in aligning those things, and I thought I could benefit from her already um, having those things aligned in her own studio.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she just happened to have an application on her website.
Oh wow. I didn't know you had an application. That's hilarious.
Yep. It's funny because when she found it, I was like, damn, she found it. So, because it's at the bottom of it. It's literally like, I'm not looking for apprenticeships,
Right.
apprentices, but if you're looking for an apprenticeship and
you're willing to go all the way down,
right,
you went through the crucible, you might as well.
right, you might as well go and fill out the application.
Right. And then when you saw her application, what did you think?
Oh, I mean, I filled it out. One of the things was in the prompt was a website, so I sat down and made a website that week.
Oh wow!
And I applied, and I heard back from her like I want to say like maybe a month later, and we did our interview. Then I heard back a month after that I got the position, and then I came in a few times before I started in November and helped her with the BTCC in October. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And what did you think about it when you saw the application?
I thought this was cute. That's all I had at that point, because you also know where I was coming from, like
right.
coming out of. Right. But then also, before I could even hit her up to say about an interview or anything, mm-hmm. she hit me back up and was like, I have a website now, so I would like to amend my application.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, she's paying attention to something that I've either said or done. Mm-hmm. And that's what was like, all right, let's see what happened.
Because hold on, there was somebody in between.
Yeah, it was two people in between her.
Okay, who did I meet?
I feel like you met both of them.
I met Charity.
Yeah.
Who was after Charity?
After Charity was Veronica.
And after Veronica?
After Veronica was Evie. Evie had the big, like, green hair, goth chick.
With the glasses?
Yeah.
That's what
we met.
Yeah. What happened with her?
She quit.
Oh.
Her work wasn't, she just wasn't getting it. Like, her work wasn't there. She wasn't consistent with working with herself. I had to hold her hand a lot. And then when it came to doing BTCC, I told her she couldn't come.
Okay.
And I know she felt the way about that, but also I didn't want to have to I didn't want to tell her not to tell people she's not attached to me.
Right.
Because her work was that not good.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
And then I needed to get guidance from my own tattoo master. So I was like, I think I've tried everything, but let me ask.
Check, right.
Right. Like, let me ask first, but I have to do that without her in my ear, without her bouncing around it. But she quit soon after BTCC. She said I iced her out of there, and I was like, I didn't. I told you clearly why you needed to be here working on your things,
Right.
not at the convention.
Right. Right.
I mean, she might have been mad you had me there and not her.
I mean, technically, I didn't have either one of y'all there. I wasn't even going to follow up with you. So when you followed up is when I was like, well, I mean, I do need hands considering what's going on with said current apprentice.
Right.
So I had to be honest about that.
That's dope. I find it so I have so many questions.
Carry
to be such a busybody in your business. I'm trying to be in your business. I just find it. Well, I mean, you know, as a black woman who came from being, because I know your story as far as like you asked the white dude, the white dude was like, I ain't teaching no black people, and then winding up with Chris, who was a specific type of teacher.
Yeah.
Right. But amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And has time, and then knowing you as a person, and I know you don't really study fools too long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very interested in the dynamic and the do you feel like you're learning? I mean, I know that's kind of really fucking on the spot to say that in front of somebody, right?
I mean, I think I can learn from any situation, so yes.
Okay.
Do you feel like I'm good at teaching you?
That's a great question.
I mean, yes, but I also don't think I've gotten to all of the teaching yet. Like, for example, like these past 90 days, I was technically on probation. And while, yes, she answers all my questions and things like that, I was mostly focused on drawing during that time. And I might have had some questions, but nothing like crazy. Right. Most of it, I just kind of did myself. But she kind of told me ahead of time that she wasn't going to be like breathing down my back.
Right. So a lot of the things that you have to do is self motivation and self. Right.
Yeah. I think she gives me all of the materials.
Okay. That's
amazing.
amazing.
And then it's kind of just
do your thing, right? But, and you got to put in the sweat up and to her or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I've always been a good student, so.
I mean, a master's might tell me something about that. You know,
yeah,
motherfuckers with a master. The way my ass is wired, right? Like, I got a bad leg. I got the associates. I'm good, right?
The way I'm looking at certain parts of my tattoo career, where I was like, I could really go back to school and get this master's or PhD, and it's like, the way your brain is wired, do you really want that headache?
Because what did you go to school for?
I went to Clark for art.
Right, so that's right.
Everybody wanted me to go for something else other than art, and I was like, y'all want me to go to school.
Right.
I'm going to go for something I can process.
That's right. You was at Clark.
Yeah.
Yee. You was down in Atlanta.
Yep.
And you graduated from Clark.
Yeah. I got there the first year. It was the last year of Freaknik was my first year at Clark.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like literally, I think some dude said something rude to me on the train, and I was like, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" Mm-hmm. And he was like, "You ain't gotta come at me like that. I mean, you ain't gotta be all up in my shit." And that was the last year of Freaknik.
How was that experience being down there? Coming from here,
country.
Because it's a different type of black, even though DC mad country.
Yeah.
Like in real life. Yeah. I won't say that. I mean, I said it on camera now, but I don't admit that.
I mean, we are. We're like northern country though. Like, right. You know, even though we're the South technically, right? We don't really see ourselves like, nah.
No, we don't see ourselves, but we got drawl.
Yeah, like you know, but it was interesting. I came up every quarter. So I would literally come up to home every quarter because I just couldn't function down there. And their blacks is either poor black or bougie black.
That's what I was about to ask you about. Because that's why I would look at like, okay, so if we're going to do some comparisons, how was your Sierra? Let me know if I'm borrowing you too much. How was your experience at Howard dealing with black people?
I mean, I would say it was the same. Some of them were bougie and some of them weren't. Okay.
Did you find that as an
all
interest?
sitting in the same class though.
Right. Did you find that an interesting dynamic?
It made me realize that it's kind of tricky to word, especially on camera.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
yeah.
I'm thinking that
Ain't nobody.
it's not
my
just.
shit.
I don't have a problem with Black people having wealth. I think everybody should have access to wealth.
Right.
But I do think some people let it lead for their personality or ego.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they look down upon other people who don't come from those backgrounds and believe they're better because they have that.
Right.
Yeah.
But we all Black. Hello.
And I mean, that's kind of what I feel like people were trying to do at
What's
my
up, man?
school was like,
What happened to your phone? Got you. Okay. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, but you don't have any keys. You don't have your keys. You told me you couldn't find your keys this morning. Go check. All right. Hit me if you don't have your keys. All right. Love you. Bye. Yeah. Buddy still high.
I was about to say he gotta come up here.
Buddy talking about some. Hey, we get out in a couple of hours. We get out at 4:30 today, but how did he do that? But dog, I tried to ask you if you had your keys this morning. I don't know where my keys are. Yeah, bro, whatever. Anyway.
I love nephews.
That's I look at the when you learn as Black people, we know that we are not a monolith, right?
Right.
But on a Black campus, because I went to a PWI, so the issue that I dealt with was like all the Black people, no matter socioeconomic status, was all together because we had these racists to deal with. Because don't even get it twisted. Collie Park, yeah, them niggas was racist, right? But you wonder. So having either gone to the Mecca or gone down to Clark, Atlanta, or Spelman or Morehouse or anything, those the prestigious, Black HBCUs. I always wonder, like, yo, son, like, because we're not a monolithic people, but these institutions are kind of homogenized. It's only on the fact that everybody pretty much is Black.
Yeah.
Right, but Black from the whole diaspora.
Right.
And then you get to see this dynamic of Blackness that students at a PWI don't get to see. And so that puts you in a different space when you come out, when you look at Black people. That whole all skin folk and kinfolk thing be super, super real because you're like, nah, them folks treat me like.
Right. They treat me worse than the fucking white people. Like, what are you doing?
Right. And because either, as Sierra was stating, if you ain't got the economics, or your economic background is either your whole identity, right? And the thing that you use to separate and segregate yourself from other Black people. Like, why are we doing that? But we do that. But I look at it like, but I think that's a proximity issue with being in America.
I think it's that. I also think there is a certain idea of when you haven't had anything, almost starved out of something. So when you get something, it's mine.
Okay.
So with it being yours, now it's like I'm better than you because I was able to get it.
But what if you grew up like that, though? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what if you grew up, your whole silver spooned up? You got all the spoons.
Different. I don't know what.
Right. And but is that what you're saying? Like those people, Sierra.
The other Black people as ghetto and treat them as such.
Got you.
And will straight up say it as well.
Right.
And then the people who don't come from that background will humble them.
Right.
Like many people got mugged, or I don't know if you call it mugging, robbed. From.
Right. That sounds like
but
the lawyer I had to humble when I almost got fired from Penn.
But I was gonna say, then it like reinforces
the stereotype. Right.
See, y'all are ghetto.
Right.
Yeah. Because he stole from me, but it's like actually I stole from you because you're mean. don't stop bragging.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I personally believe those people need to be punched in the face. I don't care what race you are.
I mean, they kind of just skate through Howard because they don't have to worry about housing or financial aid or sometimes even class because they'll just pay for tutors or pay for tests or whatever.
That's really interesting. So it was interesting in that dynamic because Howard's considered the Mecca. So you're in the thick of it where these class wars start within our race, like within Black culture. You don't find that much at a Clark. You find it at like a Spelman or a Morehouse.
Well, I was wondering, like, how was Clark? Was Clark like the working man's gym?
Yeah.
Like the blue collar line? Okay.
So while people were there like that, you didn't find them because you didn't see them until fucking graduation. Like I didn't know we had so many astute Black people at Clark until they came literally for graduation. They just, they stay in their space.
Gotcha.
And I think it also becomes more of that working man's type of deal where it's like I understand where I am and I want to be more grounded here.
Gotcha.
Even though I have these resources, or even though I grew up like this, I can't even say it's because Clark is in the hood, because Howard's in the hood too. So.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, it definitely changed over the time that I was there. I feel like it was definitely much more neighborhood friendly Shaw when I started. Yeah. And by the end, literally the year I graduated when they started building that Whole Foods. And now when I go over there, it's very white.
Right. Right.
So well, it used to be the new Howard students have a much different experience.
Right.
Before you came there, Howard was hood. It's like that area.
Ain't 500 over there?
Yeah. Hood, like you wasn't walking through there alone, even if you went to Howard. Like you just know.
No, that's why I said
niggas cracked out.
People have gotten stabbed on the yard by DC locals. At least that's what they said. Yeah. I wasn't there.
I believe it. We are angry people.
And then like they would always be sitting outside of like the cabs and the dorms, and they would. I remember when I was a freshman, like for all the RAs would go, don't talk to the locals, don't talk to the locals. And I mean, my friends that did, they were getting scammed or tricked or robbed. So I can't say they weren't off. And I don't even mean just like scam, like financial. I mean like, oh, I think this guy really likes me.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like he's talking to 5 other girls.
Yeah, they was getting got. You will get got with the dummy train, though.
Yeah.
But it's so funny.
They're not from DC.
Yeah. I know, but being from here, I'm like, the locals, what does that mean? Like, it's not like
that's just what they call.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I mean, but if you're not from here,
that's what you're gonna say. Yeah.
And it's like, that's so crazy. Because when I used to go to, I had somebody who I used to deal with down University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. And down there, their nickname for the people was Pabs, Princess Anne Bammers. And I was like, the Princess Anne Bammers, the Pabs?
That shit sound like some type of...
Like for real, like the other side of the track type situation.
What the fuck?
So we would go down that joint, and I was like, what is this? Like, who are these Bammers down here? But then I guess I mean, if I was from New York, I would think niggas from DC was Bammers. I'd be like,
everybody from New York for the longest time was like, y'all some Bammers. And it was just like...
It was like very cultural war. Like I would say people kind of stuck to their areas. Like a lot of my friends are from Maryland. And then like a lot of the people from New York stayed together. All the people from Atlanta stayed together.
I think for, at least for HBCUs, I think that's a thing.
No, PWI too.
PWI too. Okay.
Oh, listen. At University of Maryland, it used to be Baltimore and DC versus New York, New Jersey. Philly niggas was kind of on the outskirts. But it will always get them because, so my dad is from Bed-Stuy. My mom is from DC. I knew all the New York shit. So, but I grew up here, so I'm firmly with the DC people. But the New York people, we'd be like and we would be in the stamp union at Maryland. And they'd be like, oh, no, going on how somebody, whatever. And the dude be like, I'm from New York. I was like, from where? And he'd be like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn. I was like, where? So then all the Brooklyn dudes was like, hold up, what you mean where? I'd be like, yeah, give me the block. And they was like, hold on, what you know about the block? And then I'd be like, oh, what you think? I was like, my whole family, Crown Heights between Rise and Nostrils on St. Mark's. They was like, oh. And then the other dude was like, I'm from Brooklyn. I was like, well, I'm not really from Brooklyn. Where you from? He said, Syracuse. I said, you from Canada? No. All the New York dudes fell out. I was like, you from Canada?
Oh,
yeah, it used to be. So it would be wars in that joint.
I promise you that on everything I love, that's how DC would get down. I remember there was a dude. I think he still do go-go parties here, but he used to throw them down in Clark. And I think one day I came out to my dorm, and this was the first time I had seen somebody from home. So I saw him. He had on all madness. He had on slouch socks, and I was like, "Well, where you from?"
Right.
And he was like, "DC, nigga," and I was like, duh."
Right. But from
where?
where?
From?
Right.
He was like, "Oh, you DC, like you know," and I was like, "Yeah, no, that's home." Like
where are you from? Right.
I mean, when I was in California and I said I was from Maryland, they were like, "Where is that?" Like, they didn't even know what Maryland was.
Oh wow!
Like I never heard of that state.
Oh, that's crazy.
Meanwhile, they could be like, "That's Nevada, Colorado, blah blah blah, all those states over there." I'm like, how do you not know the 13 colonies? Like that was my thought. Like I was like, I don't really know past the 13 colonies very well because it's not important to me.
Right.
Yeah. I was
but over here, I'm like, how did y'all not? I'm like, Maryland and Virginia and Pennsylvania were like the first states.
Right.
Nothing for them to consider.
Right.
Right. Did y'all not learn history? I guess they learned about the Trail of Tears and the Gold Rush.
Right.
Because there was a lot of like old Western towns out there.
Yeah, Davis is crazy. Yeah.
Sacramento is very
about
Western.
The Oregon Trail and shit. Like, here, play this game.
Okay. But no, my mom was born in Baltimore, but she literally, my grandmother immediately moved to Brooklyn after that. So she was raised in New York.
Okay.
So she don't really claim Maryland, even though she has now lived here, for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, but those first 18.
Yeah,
I was in New York.
She in New York.
She's in New York.
And when she goes back, the accent still leaps out.
Where was she living in Brooklyn?
See, that's the thing. I don't remember the name.
Okay. Did you grow up there?
When she was deployed because she was in the military. Oh, okay. I lived there as a baby with my grandparents.
Where was she? What branch of the service?
Army.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I feel like it has some weird name. I'm gonna honestly just text her.
I got questions, Mom.
Right. I do that. I still do that with my cousins. It's so weird. My father is, best I do, but I know his neighborhood more than he knows his neighborhood now.
That's the sad part. Is like she took me over there. I went into the pizza shop she used to go to. The same guy was still working there.
Right.
Still couldn't tell you the name.
Right.
But she was kind of sad because like a lot of the houses on her block are turning into those gray gentrified boxes.
Yeah.
The gray and orange joints.
Yeah.
It's like gray orange.
It's called gentrification gray.
Black and white.
That's what they call it, gentrification gray.
Yeah. It really is a very specific gray.
It is
it's
that dark gray.
But I know a few of my cousins still live out in Queens.
Oh, yes.
Can we get some brown brick?
That's it. We could actually drive and park there.
Oh, okay. So you must be Astoria or...
I don't know. She'll probably text me back. Literally, she already texted me back. Bushwick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you was with the Jamaicans. Or the Caribbean West Indians.
Your mama get my apology for cursing so much on you.
She didn't say anything to me.
Bushwick.
She was on the live while we were doing her portfolio. And you know me, I'm cussing. And she was like, yeah, my mama won. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Sorry, Mom. Damn it.
Oops. Swear jar.
I promise you I don't mean nothing back.
Yeah, Bushwick definitely is getting very gentrified.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, she always describes it as like they lived in one of those apartments where like the rooms were connected, so she had to like walk through her parents' room to get to her
to go to the front. Linda Poland was like that. It was a project. You remember Linda Poland? I don't think you remember Linda Poland.
It's like a shot. Well, no, not quite.
Linda Poland was in the Southeast, but it was like a shotgun house.
Yeah.
But they were shotgun apartments. Yeah. They having like crazy 7 rooms, but the shits you got to go through everybody's room to get there.
Get to the room.
Yeah. You doing the mask? Or you filling out the rest of the mask or what?
Yeah, I'm still over here. There was a small part over here I just wanted to touch.
Okay.
So that way when we come back and do like heavy black, it'll be all. This piece is drama. Okay, I'm done. That's all I keep saying for this. Like, giving me drama.
Listen. Ooh, I think the new episode of Invincible is out.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's on. Comes out every Thursday, right?
I don't know.
Invincible is out. I finished Paradise.
You want me to pick up your phone to show closer?
Sure.
Get into that butt cracky cheesy cracks, boo.
There's a thing up there. You could flip it if you want. Okay. That's a butt crack cheesy.
Yeah, you gotta get through the blind side, cheesy crack.
Has it been itchy as it's been healing?
Oh, of course, 100,000%.
100,000.
I don't have any back tattoos, so I always wonder, like, you can't really reach it anyway.
Oh wow!
You gotta rub up against like a chair.
Crazy. That's so crazy.
Now he's watching.
I was like, "What are you watching?" And then I just looked up.
It's a delay, so it's like, yeah, I see the feeling. That's wild.
Yeah. Extra. This is a good way for you to see what's happening.
It is. This is amazing. I'm like, oh, this is dope. I can see the whole jump. Yeah, that jump is almost the full.
I think we are going to do both arms Asian, so all of your limbs.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Asian.
And covering up this whole piece. I don't want nothing to remain.
Okay.
Yeah, cover everybody.
Like everybody gone.
Everybody gone. This one was just because of my kids. I wanted to keep my kids.
Okay.
Everybody on.
I mean, we like them.
We do like.
We like them.
They okay, but everybody on that other girl can get on.
Yeah, I think this will be, especially since we've been talking a lot about Afro-Asian fusion.
Yeah.
That we can merge it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It's funny to me how you jump around.
So look, Ricky was watching something this morning where an artist was doing a classical painting of a portrait, and I was like, if anybody saw a full artistic process, you would know why we have ADD. Because I think every artist jump around and be like, "Ooh, go here, go here." I have to, for large pieces, I actually have to limit myself, so I would jump around to like down here and stuff. Except I need to finish up here first. So I have to work with my brain a lot to be like, okay, so this is the limit. So if you finish this, like that's it. That's the goal.
How do you know like how far over you want to go like for a back piece? Because like it starts to go on your ribs, but like,
well, we're covering the whole thing. It's gonna go all the way to the front.
Oh
yeah, for him this is going all the way, like it's a full body wrap.
Yeah.
So this will be like this whole body wrap part all the way to the front will be all
it's going to connect into the chest.
okay.
So, yeah.
But generally for a back piece, it's the shape of the body. So the way it cuts off for the shape of his actual body would be the back piece.
Oh.
So I normally look at people's shape. So it's almost like if your arms were down.
I just mean like, is it you don't want it to be visible from the front?
It depends on the canvas. Like if somebody says I just want a back piece, like some people aren't ready for the ribs. That shit hurt. So you know what I mean?
Yes, true.
So people be like, nah, Slim, like the back is gonna be enough. I came for a back piece. Don't try and talk me into anything more. So yeah, so some people really just want that. So depending on what their actual aesthetic goal is in terms of how they want the piece to interact will depend on how it goes. There are some people, I have a full back piece and she's got her ribs done and I still need to, oh shit, I forgot to hit her up. I need to hit her up.
Right.
Because she's got spider lilies within it, and there's some open. While the piece is technically finished, there's some open spaces in there. Right. So with that, I want to frame it out so that way she's also a mermaid, so she be in like in the water and shit. So I wanted to look really full and like it wasn't just a dumb spot.
How long do you recommend they don't go in the water for?
30 to 60 days.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Why did I think it was like 3 weeks?
Nah, she
It's
shut
30
down my
days.
beach. She shut down my beach activities twice.
30 days. So what happens is your body has to scab. And if you get water underneath of it, it limits the scabbing.
Right.
Also, you don't want to be in water where you can't control, like it doesn't, you can't control how clean the water is, and you don't want that into your open scab. So it's the same idea as when you have surgery. They be like don't go get in the bathtub. Like it's just not okay.
Right.
So
you don't know, right?
Yeah, you don't know particles that are in the tub. You don't know particles that are, in the actual water.
Right.
You can't control those things. So the best thing to do is to not be within it. But aside from that, your body just won't scab the same. So where it's trying to repair, the water's going to actually disturb it.
Right. Like taking a shower, I can't get my back wet.
Yeah.
So I had to,
Well, I probably would want to wait longer for a whole back piece anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want your whole back soaking.
Somewhat. I mean, you don't want your whole back doing that, but
if you could do it in one shot and I'd be finishing the day, I would do it. I'd be like, kill it, go.
But I mean, like, for example, like if I just had like one little flower on my shoulder versus my whole back.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the only reason I say, like you don't have to wait that long. Like it's going to be the same amount of time, simply because it's the same healing process.
Right.
So that one little flower may have less darker, like it depends because it's going to depend on like he's got dark moments in here. So those things, the scab is already peeling off. Like nothing's going to happen to that. You know what I mean? But it goes through the same healing process with about the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a systematic process within your body. So it's usually about the same amount of time, no matter how big the piece is.
how do you decide which black you want to use? Because I know, like, I've seen like black, triple black, something black. Like, I'm like, okay, how black does it get?
They get pretty black, and that depends on what your goal is. These rich blacks are good for there's shading blacks and then there's packing blacks. So it's different types of blacks out there on the market. So I normally use a packing black and then I dilute it down to a shading black because it's good for dark skin. I don't have to worry about I need to make it extra dark. I need to, put more shading, like keep shading and overworking the skin and possibly damage that person because my black isn't black enough. I just go get the darkest black and then work backwards. I chose the ones that I chose because of the brand, um, their reputation. I also look at a whole lot of reviews if I decide to change things. I don't change my inks often, so that way it doesn't disturb the quality of the work. Um, so if somebody does have a reaction or something like that, I know the inks well enough to know what may have happened. So I don't bounce around and be like, yeah, I'm going to use Starbright with Fusion, and I'm going to use a little bit of, I use Fusion and Intense.
I see the dynamic black.
Dynamic is a very popular one. I used to use Dynamic. I ain't gonna hold you. I love Dynamic. Dynamic had a recall, and I don't fuck with recalls. So when they had a recall, I just never went back. I was like, nope. I think there was mold or something in there.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That would be sad.
And my bottles that I had were in that set of recalls.
No.
So I was like,
moldy sad.
Yeah, thankfully I hadn't used that black. Like it was sitting. I normally I'll buy so that I can make smaller bottles of black and I'll mix. And I was like, oh, nah, we're not doing that. Like I don't want any guesswork about how somebody's tattoo is going to heal because a product is doing some weird shit.
Right.
So I just never went back. Do I love Dynamic? Absolutely. Am I gambling with it? Fuck no. But all I did was go through and find, based on my work, I found reviews on inks that were comparable to Dynamic. So I did have to do, it took me like 2 months to make a decision on what I would want before I even ordered it. So I was using a very basic Fusion black until I made that decision. And then when I made the decision, it was 2 blacks that I could use. And I was like, I want to do both of them, for different reasons and the same reason altogether. So I just mix those two now.
Okay. Do you
Very.
care what I use, or
I'm going to
not
ask.
that I have a preference? I I was just wondering because I know different people use different things.
You get basic stuff here as you start tattooing, which will be the same thing that I use because it'll allow you to understand the base and the um your end product, right? So you can understand more of your tools and what you may want to use in the future. Now, as you become more accomplished, you're going to want to play with other things. And I'm not going to hold you as long as it don't fuck nobody up. I don't care what you do. Like, as long as people are happy, you've gotten their permission, or anything. You don't have to really get permission for like inks.
I was saying because you use a specific brand for your inks, for your needles, for your machine.
Once I know things that are going to give me the outcome that I'm looking for, that goes along with the quality of the product that I prefer to put out, I don't change things. It's the same as finding like your favorite paintbrush, and you'd be like, I've been using the same paintbrush for like 20 years, and it's still like one hair on the paintbrush. Yeah, that's me.
What about the Bactine? Is there a reason why you use the Maticide over the Bactine?
Okay.
Wait, is it not for the same reason? I thought it was for cleaning.
So Maticide is for cleaning surfaces. Bactine you can actually use on skin.
Oh, okay.
I've only used it here.
It sounds like a cleaning name for me.
You can use it the same as Dettol. You can use it for cleaning. It's antimicrobial. It's antimicrobial. It's anti-inflammatory. But it does the same thing the cherry blossom tincture does.
Oh.
So when people are swelling too much or anything like that, if I want it, I could spray it with Bactine, let it rest for a minute, and get back to it where it'll help calm down the skin. But the tincture does the same thing, and it does it better. So
Okay. So it's more like alcohol.
yeah, without so much of the sting. So
I just always see it, but I never see people use it.
yeah, it's usually for that. Some people will use it for the final wipe to kind of clean the piece. So people, before they put on whatever they put on, and I say whatever in jest, whatever they put on.
Did you start with a stencil, or has this whole thing been freehand?
No, we had part stencil, part freehand, part what the fuck? I don't know.
No, you used the stencil for the mask.
Okay.
And she put a stencil for the mask, but you did the geometry on your own.
Okay.
She drew with a pen.
There you go.
And that's how she did the drag. All of this there was no stencil for this arm. The koi fish. The koi was the only stencil. The dragon was not. The fushi were on my leg. The fushi were stencil. The phoenix was not. The dragon, the phoenix rising and the dragon descendant.
Those were both freehand, right?
Freehand. Yeah. The lady is freehand. Yeah.
The dogs and the koi. One, I don't particularly like drawing koi. There's nothing too fun in there for me, so I usually get a stencil so I could take like my brain out of it. Take myself out of my own misery.
Because that mask is Ricky.
Yeah,
mask.
Yeah.
Drew, it's over there somewhere.
It's right up there. Up on where the stuffed animals are. No, yeah. Now look to the side, right where your finger is. One of them. Is it? I don't know which one.
The one with the mask in the middle.
All three of them got masks.
No, the one with the two big eye mask. size. I don't think it's up there.
Oh.
You had a third.
I was about to say,
you got another one.
I was like, that looks like a
Oh.
There's another one.
Okay, there was another one that we did together.
Yeah. And that's the one.
Damn, yo. That's true. When you get customers and they say, "Do you freehand?" Because I want a freehand tattoo. Just know people don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Sorry.
Just so you know, they don't know what they talking about.
I mean, I don't want to freehand it.
They heard somebody.
My stencil is one that I made with a pen. I know they call that freehand, but
so
technically I still drew it before I tattooed it.
People think that that's something to brag, like somebody else who see their tattoo and compliments their tattoo is going to know that the shit was freehanded. Nobody cares how it was done. Just it's a dope tattoo.
Right. It's the line work tight as the shit tight.
Right. Can I see the shit? But people will literally, especially within Black community, people have gotten more into like, do you freehand? What kind of inks do you use? Why the fuck does it matter? You wouldn't know if I told you.
Right.
You're not the crafts person. You see how that works?
Right.
You know, there are people who will literally choose to opt you out as far as tattooing them because you don't freehand. So just know, like,
well, I'm not in a rush to get there anyway.
Oh, I'm just saying, no. I'm just saying, like, just don't.
I don't see why you've done it because you've been tattooing for years.
Yeah, and I still like 90% of the shit. I still be like, if I can't see it clearly, if I don't feel it, if I don't feel like freehanding in general, if my brain is not working, guess who's not fucking freehanding? This one.
Right. And it wasn't a thing where I said, "Hey, let me get a freehand."
Right.
Da-da-da. I just was like, "Yo, I don't know. I mean, I know I want a koi fish. I know I want a dragon somewhere." And she was like, "Ooh, well, let me see." And then pulled out the pens and got to getting. Then I was like, "Oh, that's dope." And still let me see it. Like, you want to do this? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure." She was like, "All right." So I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
But that's the trust piece. It's like
that's
trusting the person that does the work. But I had seen her work enough. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. I seen her work enough. Mm-hmm. And actually, it wasn't on skin.
I know you saw sneakers.
It was the sneakers. The sneakers I was like, oh shit, you got a tight hand. And then seeing you in pens, I think I was stopped by your line work. Was killing. And the fact that because you were doing more lettering. Yeah. And her lettering was like bonkers. And I had seen a couple people with her lettering done. You did Roddy Rod's tattoo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then you did Roddy Rod, and you did somebody else.
I did Rod, I did Wes,
right.
Because he's got script in his. Let's see. We did Raw. I don't know. It's a lot of who's who.
Yeah. But I think it was Roddy that was in pens. Yeah. And I saw the work and I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. So then we got talking.
So Roddy Rod is a dope DJ and producer. Big brother of mine. It was his first tattoo. Bless his soul. Right. That's what it was like. It was like,
little ticky black.
Oh. First tattoo. And literally he was like, and it's a lot of people who will literally, once they start seeing you around, it's like, I'm not going to nobody but you.
Right.
You know, they don't know what the price is. They don't know what's going to happen. But because they've seen your consistency in work, how you work with people, or just seen you around to be able to know your character and trust you, people have literally just been like, no, it's just you. The end.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Well, now I know what you mean though when you said like someone couldn't like pick up where you left off on a tattoo. They don't have
the same eye.
The vision of what you
right.
Because I was like right here, I'm just like, what's gonna happen over here? I see the outline that you did, but I don't know how you're gonna like fade it or anything.
Oh, I think I see it. Oh my gosh. This is going to be fun. Oh,
You said you wanted to make it fun.
yes. Yes. That's what I was thinking. Their eyes. I'm gonna go back through. He's too scabby, so I can't do it. But I want to put galaxies in my eyes, so it creates a whole other dimension or something.
That's crazy.
But I think the African pieces are going to be mostly black and gray with pops of color, whereas his Asian pieces are mostly full color. So it'll give a nice frame.
I'm still dead. He called that a tramp stamp.
No, my wife saw it as a tramp stamp. My wife called it a tramp stamp, and I was like, "It's not. It's just the whole piece. You haven't seen the whole vision. You don't know the whole thing." Then she saw the first top part. She was like, "It's still a tramp stamp." I was like, "No, but when it's finished and when it goes to my butt cheeks, that's what she got funny." She was like, "It's gonna be on your butt cheeks." I was like, "Yes, of course, it's gonna be on my butt cheeks." It's called a full body suit.
Full body suit.
The front don't connect to the back. It's like, you know.
Oh Lord. I can see her now. Like
it's like where your beard don't attach. You know what I mean? You don't want to think where your beard don't attach.
Like nigga, I'm getting a full body suit, not mutton chop.
Yeah, not mutton. Like, it's a full jump. It's a jump.
Oh man.
The color and everything. I still get compliments like the leg pieces are the ones when I was in Puerto Rico. People was like, "Yo, who did that?"
Something to send for me.
I did.
Send me.
I was like, "Yo, don't get my folk. Get my folk. Flued her out. You think she could get flued out?"
I asked Imani to do some guest spots.
Where?
Just in general.
Oh, she do it.
Well, I think she'd rather do it for like a specific clients. But
I
don't
do.
know if you just want to like pull up at the studio.
Oh, as far as guest spotting, like I'll travel for clients. I don't mind doing that. I will do guest spots at studios that I know, where I know the owner or something like that. Like I'm too finicky these days where I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna go and I just like the vibe of the studio. Let's see. And no.
Because you go to what comes in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. I go to City of Ink in Atlanta. I do guest spots there. When Big Daddy Jazz used to have his shop up in New York, I would go up there. Places like that where it feels like you're with family. It doesn't feel like I'm working.
Right.
So it had to have almost any guest spot that I do has to have almost the same vibe as Pins. That if it don't have that vibe, I don't want to be there.
Pins was great. My kids were the only kids allowed in Pins.
Some of the only kids.
Some of the only. Okay, I thought it was only my kids.
Why is that out the first time I heard that?
Some of the only. Because so it was literally like clients that me and Chris trusted, where if we really fuck with y'all kids was allowed in.
Right.
So of course, it wasn't many people that was like, yeah, nigga.
So yeah, but my kids could come in and people like, but dude, there's a kid. I was like, my kid's full job.
Right.
Sit down. But my kids mind their business. They go sit down in the corner and be quiet.
And then I showed up, like, I used to do, like, art stuff at their schools and stuff. They were like, hey, auntie, who are you? Imagine.
Right.
She do tattoos. Not talking about tattoos right now. I don't want to tell your friends no.
Right. Phoenix still wants you to do her tattoo. I keep telling her, oh my God,
hey, she know what to do. I just found a picture of
Dobby.
Of me and Dobby.
I know.
His son together.
Yeah.
I'm like,
said it to me. I said, look, that's what she's back in Pins. But my son is almost 21. He'll be 21 in April.
Aww.
The 9-year-old
just turned 26 in December.
Oh, nice. December what?
2nd.
Oh, Sagittarius. Yeah, December 8th.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, what's up? Bias.
That's
okay, now you're good people.
Because you're a Sag?
She's Sag, man. Come on, man. Jason Reynolds, Sagittarius.
Oh, shit.
Rico Love, Sagittarius.
I
Omar Keefe, Sagittarius. Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, of course. Who else?
I can't brag about the Gemini
DP.
except for Kendrick Lamar.
DP is
I can brag about.
Hold up, Gemini's.
Donald Trump is Gemini. That's why I was like, I can't really brag too much because.
Oh, you can still brag. You just ain't got to include the orange Cheeto.
The sad thing is that he moves in true Gemini nature, and I'm just like,
They all do. even Naomi Campbell's a Gemini, and she was I don't know if anyone saw her America's Next Top Model type show that she created, but she was ruthless. She was like, "You're dumb, you're ugly, you can't walk, you're stupid."
That sounds about that's very Gemini. That's very us.
Like those girls were crying on that show.
When I tell you, I mean, you've already heard the stories about how I love to make people cry. Like I'm not into like I want to beat you. If I can make you cry with my words and maybe even a look, I'm satisfied. I'm walking away. I'm probably going to go treat myself to something gorgeous for that day, just because my work here is done. But that used to be my problem at like pens and such, which is why I'm very cognizant about how I teach here. Because I'd literally be like, the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? You dumb? That shit is stupid. You thought this was smart? We can really fuck some shit up. That's the sign, like that's a diabolical sign right in the middle that will break you down.
I know you were asking me before. I don't know if you were asking hypothetically
what
about like if I wanted to be a line work artist, and I do think I want to work towards it. I'm not saying that's like obviously I still want to be well rounded, but I realize like I really.
I mean, I don't care what you do after you get well rounded. I think line work artists are whack. That's just me.
What you mean? What is a
like if I was to just no shading?
Oh yeah, I get it. I understand.
It's not that I wouldn't do it. Like obviously, if they're like, "Can you color this in or shape this?"
Yeah.
I honestly think people stop at line work because they can't do nothing else.
I just like crispy lines.
Crispy lines are great.
Yeah, and that's the crux.
But you can see, but you can tell like, well, you can. It's whatever. You can feel how you want to feel. I'm just like a.
No, I mean,
for me, I
the
feel like
benefits to both. But like, for example, we were talking about Hello Kitty pretty heavy, so I started looking up pictures of like Hello Kitty tattoos with shading, and I was like, I don't like these.
So a lot of people can't shade Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Because Hello Kitty not really supposed to have shading.
But like that was like
except on the outside of the line.
And like I've seen some people do it very like gently and lightly, where like it's not shading, but more like it helps like define like, oh, this is a foot. Like just a little light.
Yeah, light.
If you can make it look like a patch or a sticker or something.
I've seen stuff like that.
That to me, I feel like that's amazing because the line work is still stellar inside. The piece, but outside you've given it this whole third dimension.
Line work
feels like it's something else.
I feel like line work is a lazy person's way out of not pushing themselves. Because it is the crux of any tattoo piece. Line work does have to be stellar. But what can you do next? What can you do with it? If the world stopped just wanting and appreciating line work as a trending situation, what else can you do that makes something look amazing? Like, what is your actual voice? Is your voice just lines? And if so, are you doing contour lines? Are you doing some literally amazing shit with lines? I have not seen amazing shit with lines. I've literally seen people just be like, I'm a line work artist.
And then it'd be looking like hot flash on the paper.
Right. Like, and
hot flash is dope.
All I'm saying is, if you become a line work artist, I would challenge you to push yourself. We watch.
I mean, I'm still gonna do it. I just know that I
mean, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm not just gonna be like, forget shading, forget color.
No,
that's why I said if someone
you would have to quit this apprenticeship today.
But for example, with this Gengar, I just like the line work. Yes, I could add shading. Yes,
he has a beautiful belly. So shading it in, or even doing a contour of Gengar where it's like a one line contour, like that's more challenging than just fucking tracing a Gengar. You know, like that's all it boils down to, and that's what most people do.
That's why I like.
I think the only person whose line work has semi been pushed is Kiana KMJ. And that's only because her style is in doing like these kind of one line faces, right?
Like that's out to me.
Yeah.
That's out.
Yeah. Like, that shit dope.
That's like, crazy. Look at.
And you have to have a particular type. Yeah. Those patchwork tattoos. I want to do
them shits is like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
But I'm saying, like, if I did this piece, I would just like it like that.
I mean, That's
I get
fine.
that.
It's also still missing stuff where it still feels unfinished as a line piece. So even as a line piece, it still looks unfinished. And most people will literally stop there and be like, I like it like that. What about varying line weight so that you see that she's sitting in a cup, that there's shadow under there? Like, it's so much information that you could fill in with lines, and most people don't push that shit. Most people don't even realize that there's a whole part of fine art that is just line work. And most people don't even go to explore those things to get better at line work. It's just I do good lines, I do clean lines. But how are you gonna push it? Like if you were being in this long term, are you just about to be like the line work artist?
I mean, like I
You
said,
know what I
I
mean?
just come back to my tattoos where they like stopped to take a break when they finished the line work before they started the shading, and I was like, dang, I kind of like it as is.
Yeah.
And they added the shading, and yeah, it looks fine, but I don't feel like, for my personal opinion, that I was like, oh my god, this completely changed the piece. It looks so much better. I'm like, I mean, thanks.
Like I find this type of stuff interesting.
Yeah.
That's ill kind of line work situations.
Yeah,
But
but
it's like but it's intricate enough and the lines vary the way enough that it's like, okay. That's a, for sacred geometry and stuff like that. Like that's killing actually.
And 9 times out of 10,
you don't have to shade that at all.
Depending on the artist, first of all, their line. Go back. Oh, that's sexy. They're lining with a mag, which is what I normally shade you with.
That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I've been seeing people use mags to do thick lines.
Yeah, so but that's tight though. I mean, so for me personally, this is just my opinion. For me, I would not shade that. That to me is dope because there's varying weight in the lines. I'd be like, yo, this is killing. Just like that. Even with the stippling, I'd leave the stippling like that.
Stippling is
I'd be
gonna
like,
stay.
I'll be like, please don't touch that.
They're showing
that shit is killing.
Yeah, they're literally showing dynamics with how to do lines and how to use certain techniques.
Yeah.
So that's more important.
I don't like this shit though.
Yeah, no.
I'll cut you out. Putting this
First of all of the blowouts in there.
This shit is wiggly. The shit's mad wiggly.
I mean, I don't understand getting that long of a.
So it's an aesthetic. So girls especially women, used to get like back of the leg from like maybe right here going down.
I think it's 2 bows.
Yeah, 2 bows. I've done like women used to get like straight down. A lot of women don't wear stockings these days. And that aesthetic came from women's stockings. So women used to wear stockings that had like bows on the back or like the line that came straight down to your heel type of deal. That's where that aesthetic comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I did that when I was trying to do different tattoo placements. I put one of my words separated.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like the idea of it. I don't know if I do it. I like the idea. Like it looks cute. But I feel like you would have to like wear something short to like show it off.
Yeah.
I
don't have anything separate. No, mine are on my arms. Boring. I've had both of them. I mean,
that joke was like, all right, yeah.
But yeah, as a pervert of fine line specifically, and bringing fine line especially into the Black community when it comes to tattoo, we still haven't figured out that it's supposed to be pushed. White people pushing it because they've been doing fine line forever because they skin pale as fuck.
You dumb.
But we all we see is, oh, it's a line, and we just kind of stop there. I don't understand the thought process in that, and that's the reason why I deduce it to it's just laziness at that point. Because at some point, for your artistry, you have to want it to evolve.
Like that.
Like something like that will bore the snot out of me.
That will bore the snot out of you.
Yeah, but coming through like where the stippling is and doing like leaving a line work, but doing like dark black.
Yeah,
just to shade out.
Interesting.
I mean, like,
or a drop shadow where it looked like the hexagon was lifted
I think it's
up.
just because I realized like I started leaning a lot more towards illustrative,
Ooh.
which is funny because that's not what I thought I was gonna do when I started. When I started, I was like, oh yeah, tribal all the way.
Okay, so see, now I'm upset. Wow. Now with that's dope, but something gotta go in there.
That's just very thick.
Yeah, something gotta go in there. Some colors or something.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just leave that naked like that. I mean, you could, but it's just not.
Would go through and just do like at the base. So like right here where it's dark, so you can really, because that movement is beautiful. So being able to like just kind of show where it's starting to open up.
Right.
But that movement is sexy as shit. How I pull straight lines. You hold your breath.
I'm gonna start off on the inside of this page. So what I always do, I always pull. I set my hand, I lock my hand in. This one too, put pressure on the skin, stretch it. This one I lock it in place. I try to rest it on something. I don't try to just hold my arm up and y'all. I rest it on something. I come in really slow, find where I'm gonna start the line, and then I go and just pull really, really nice and smooth.
Oh, I can't pull that slow. That line would be so wiggly for me. I also would not want to be the canvas in that picture. Like,
yeah, I'd be like, dog, you gotta like, man.
Can you hustle somebody else?
Yeah, hustle this shit up, Mo. Hustle this shit up. I don't want anything like that. I don't want me glow in the dark bullshit. Don't do that.
No.
I don't want that.
So there's a whole thing where they're trying to do a whole different, like a whole set of laws around cosmetics, and that includes tattoo. I think part of that comes from these glow in the dark tattoos, because motherfuckers is about to get got. Like, we don't have enough to say whether it's cancer inducing,
right,
or any of that. But if you look at MRIs, things like that, they immediately flush your skin. Like, they immediately flush you after having something that glows for your insides to be looked at. Why would you want something like that in your skin? Why would you even want to take a chance? And where the fuck are you going to be all the time? Where you're going to be able to be like, look at this dog, look at this.
It's not the greatest of ideas.
No, I'm not there.
Never.
But yeah. No, I mean, I still want to do different line weights and things like that. And I don't like even. I know you're tattooing right now, so you can't look at what I'm saying. But like, even just like having it darker and thicker in some places, or lighter lines in other places. Like, I don't mean like it's just going to be bland, all the same line weight.
Yeah, I've heard that before. That's all I got. That's all I got. Like I said, once you finish your apprenticeship and you're well rounded, do whatever you want. Like, if those are people coming to you, but don't stop your money. Just say, I just want to be a line artist. You can be an avant-garde artist. They deal with mostly lines. That's Kyangelo Inc. When I did mostly lines before even pushing line, well, no, I was still pushing lines. I did, my work is considered more avant-garde. So I did that as well. So it's literally just like, just push them. I think she's the only mostly line artist that I don't find boring, but that's because of how she pushes her work. That's me personally. But if people want it and it make you happy and they gonna pay for it and it don't stop your grind, do what you do.
I mean, I was just like, you said to look at artists that I like and like ask myself what I like about them. And I like clean, crisp lines. I follow people who do shading and color and all that stuff, but those aren't even tattoos I would get myself. Like, I appreciate it as art. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really beautiful. But
that's what you're supposed to be looking at it as, not as what you would get yourself. Nobody cares about what you would get. You're an artist.
Oh. Oh.
Like I said, if somebody asks me for that, I'm not going to be like, no, I don't do that.
Right.
They don't have options. I've seen people post just the line work and then the shading and then the color, and they say which they let them pick which do you want.
I mean, if people care about that, it's an old school style of tattooing, in terms of doing that. Now, what people also don't know, and people who have done that also sell themselves short because they don't realize there's more money in doing the tattoo as a line, as a line piece. So 9 times out of 10, they're hustling it as if you got the line piece, it's going to be less than doing, the black and gray and the color. Technically, the lines are supposed to cost more, and most people don't know that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely up as you got shading
Yeah,
and color.
yeah. The lines are,
but it wasn't up by much. Like I think it was maybe like $50 more for shading, and then maybe like an extra 25 for color. So that's like 75 more than the line.
The lines are supposed to cost more because you have more error.
Hey, what's up, man?
More margins for error.
Hey. Okay. Do you have your keys? Yeah, that's what I was saying. You don't have your keys. Yeah. So I am not around. I'm actually I'm at the tattoo parlor, at the tattoo shop. So you may want to call your mother though, because she has her keys and y'all can decide on a place where you can meet up and then she'll be able to let you in the house if she's not home already. So you should call her. You should probably text from that person's phone and say, hey, this is Davi, my phone's locked out. So how are you feeling though? Are you a little more sober? Not really though, right? Oh, yeah. Call your mom. You said what? Yeah, no. Yeah, you took entirely too much. You should have probably waited until like Saturday to do that. Yeah, these are not wise things. We'll talk about it later when you're sober. Okay. Call your mom. Thanks.
You sound like such a caring and concerned parent.
I just don't believe in when you make bad decisions, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, the coddling.
Yeah. That.
You be looking like, that's a decision you made.
Right.
I feel like I'm the type to laugh. I guess that's why I don't have kids. Because I would just laugh.
Listen, my kids they're not gonna be worried about bullies outside. Bitch, I am the bully. What are you talking about? There will be no coddling. Get your work done, and then wash these dishes so I can quit.
Right.
That's gonna be great.
That boy named Jay something.
That's all back for the free time.
Hey, Jay. Jay Smooth. Is that his name?
Tattoo artist?
No.
You said you're excited for what?
Free child labor.
Not the free child labor.
You were talking about them doing the dishes.
Well, they're gonna have to do the dishes if I'm gonna go cook. Somebody else doing the dishes, it ain't gonna be me.
That's what I'm saying. It's so exhausting. Dishes, laundry, sweeping, mopping, cleaning the litter boxes, taking out the trash, the bathroom. I don't even know bathroom. It's all these things. Be nice to delegate.
Definitely a lot of things.
Shit, if Squeak had opposable thumb, she'd be a cat who knew how to wash dishes now. The only reason I don't like washing dishes is fuck with my eating disorder.
Jay Swift.
I don't like the feeling of having wet hands left on this. And I know people say, "Oh, you can just wear gloves."
No,
I don't like
that does not feel good.
Smell of the gloves.
I will say use I've used glove once to wash dishes, and I was like, "How the fuck do y'all do this? This is disgusting."
Washing dishes with gloves?
Yes.
Yeah, it's different.
Because once water gets into your man,
it's a wrap.
Nope. These were supposed to protect me, and now we're here. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
When your stress levels go up, do you hold pain better?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I was like, this is different from last week.
I'm not. I'm divorced from my emotions at the moment.
Mm.
That's what's happening. I'm just divorced. I'm like, fuck it, man. I don't have anything. I don't have nothing to give you.
Not divorced.
That's what happens. So that's what my therapist used to try to have me deal with. She was like, you can just turn it off like that. I was like, it's off. I'm not trying to feel nothing. I'm not trying to talk about feeling anything. Shit about feeling anything. It's just what it is. It's what it is. And,
right, and I don't force it to come back on.
I'm not trying to get it to come back on. Actually, I'm just tired and don't feel like it. Yeah, whatever's there. But yeah, when my stress levels go up, it's like fuck it, boy.
How were you with your feelings though? We were divorced today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Bless you.
I'm sorry.
Fine. I'm getting better with burps.
Who?
Me.
Oh, good.
They used to actually trigger my eating disorder.
Oh wow.
Like I'd be like, oh my god. And then I would lose my appetite and not want to eat type deal.
Right.
But I've noticed recently, I'm whatever.
Right.
I do think it's probably around food that it's harsher. Like if we were eating type deal. But I'm just noticing I'm getting better with shit. I'm excited about that life. It could also be the 10-year-old kid that I kicked it with. The fact that she just burps and farts freely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's rough.
Oh man. Hello.
Oh, I think all one's on my phone.
His phone okay?
No, he's tweaking. That's what's going on. No, his phone is fine. He can pick up. He can get calls. I think he can get calls, but he's not picking up the phone. So. What happens when you're high, brother?
Oh Lord.
I suppose it's not. Hey, what's up? Meet your mother. Okay. All right, bye. From City LCN? Yes, walk down to 12th. It's at 12th and K. So you should. Okay. Yeah, so you walk from 14th, which is where you are. Walk straight down to K, make a left, go up to 12th K. 501 K Street. All right. Bye.
I never replied to you when you were like you were on grandpa duty with the baby
doing
BTCC. Just know kids are allowed, so
kids are allowed to.
kids are allowed to come.
Okay.
So like Aaron brought his kid to say what's up, and I was like, "Yo, the little homie here."
Oh, nice.
And he was like, "Yeah, you only see him online, but you always say what's up to him." So I thought you want to say what's up in real life. I was like, "Yeah, that's the little nigga." I'm always with somebody's kid. What?
This nigga think you gonna come here and mess with my day. It ain't gonna happen, cuz. You know, happen, cuz I ain't got shit to do with your bad choices, man. Don't see your mama. I ain't the one.
I know I didn't have to say out loud. He can come up here if you want him to. Because I already do what it was.
Ain't no train close. He all right.
Oh, Lord. Lessons.
Done did too much. Overindulging, being stupid.
Nigga, I'm sleepy because of you.
I'm like, nigga, sit down. Sit down, man. You're doing a lot.
Oh.
Mark your ass down, dog. Chill out. Eat some food. Don't take shit. Sit down. Be quiet. Let that shit work its way out your system. You big dummy. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was looking up different black and gray shading, and I'm gonna try this behind method behind the picture,
What do you mean?
like to pull it forward, like how they are like shading behind the flower
Oh, yeah.
instead of just coloring the leaves or
Very,
petals.
very Japanese.
Well, I did pull it from my Japanese class.
That's how I fade. I always start behind, pull the image forward first, and then shade within the actual image.
Let's give it a go.
What? They working out?
I don't know.
Let's use this nigga as weights.
What?
What? I've seen dudes do that before. I was wondering. All right.
That's exactly what I thought was happening.
What?
I'm just yapping to myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We almost done.
We done.
We're done.
Mhm.
Okay. You jump in if you want. Okay.
You said I could tap in.
Oh, you gonna tattoo? What are you tapping?
I was like, yeah, what you talking about, son? No, she just was asking me what I done, so I come scoop them up.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait till the video's off. Then I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
That was so fast.
I'm gonna go meet him down there. Yeah. Oh, can you do me a favor? I just want this
Do you
one.
mind?
Would you take a shot for me? I had to take a picture of your girl. Your old peoples.
How do you know like when to stop?
If I made myself decide where I'm going to work, or depending on what's happening with the client, I made myself decide where I was going to work today. So I knew I was going to at least finish this. There's more line work I want to do in this part and such, so I didn't want to touch it. I also still have more work to do up here, so I have to wait for it to fully heal before I can actually go back in. So instead of going too far,
because I know you said, you said not longer than 6 hours? Like
yeah. Anything longer than 6 hours, your body can go into shock. Dumbasses who are doing anesthesia and shit.
Yeah, I was doing that. It's crazy, right? Why does anybody do that? Numbing creams and all that other hoo-ha?
Yeah,
What do y'all
because
do?
people be wanting like these large pieces in like one session type of deal, and it's just that's not really how that's
try to get different angles.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Look at that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this shit always wears me out where you got the flaky skins and all. Skin is all flaked up.
Yeah, this where I tried to go in, where some of it was flaking.
Damn,
So
I still got some shadow up here. That's weird. I tried to cut all this shit off.
Oh, I was like,
oh no, I'm talking about this 5 o'clock shadow on my head looking like half Ricky. Hey, it's almost not a what you come anymore. It's almost not a tramp stamp.
Look, nigga. I had 2 gray hairs on there. I was like, so y'all thought y'all was just gonna create a 5 o'clock shadow down this bitch? Right. The fuck? No.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Once it go all the way around and then this arm extends.
I'm already considering.
It's already looking very Ted. Like when I took that top angle, I could see like your arm in the
back.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah, this is gonna be wild. Once all that's connected.
This actually, this is exciting because the last Afro-Asian piece that I was doing, we never finished, and he was getting his whole upper body. So one arm is Japanese, the other arm is Egyptian art. The front is fully Japanese, and the back was supposed to be Egyptian art, and we never got to the back.
Who was the person?
My homeboy, I can't call his name because it's been years now. Oh,
not Poop.
Not Poop.
Do you remember which side was which? Because I know I don't know if they knew when they decided.
It just kind of happened. Like,
so I was gonna say, they say that our left side is supposed to be our feminine side, and our right side is supposed to be our masculine.
Also, left side is past, right side is present. So, being able to understand what that looks like. I hope y'all enjoy today's session. Bye.
I gotta do like